basically we are going to do the reverse of everything that we've done so far. You know, what we've done so far is they give me an equation and I break the equation down to get an answer. Okay, I either factor it or I graph it or I complete the square, or I use the quadratic formula on it to get my solutions. Well, what's going to happen today is they're going to give you the solutions and you're going to have to come up with the equation. So you're going to go backwards on this. So there is a set way to do this, and it's really, once, it's not hard. In fact, it's kind of cool how it's been developed. So once you grab a hold of it, there won't be any difficulty. Okay, this is basically what they put for the answer number 1, or solution 1 and solution 2. It's going to give me a negative b over an a. Solution 1 times solution 2 is going to give me a c over a. Okay, that's the key behind the whole thing. Okay, so you need to make sure you've got those two formulas down, if you will. Let's say these are my two solutions. Okay. I'm going to follow the formula. I'm going to add these two together. Okay, so 3 plus negative 8 gives me negative 5, right? Well, negative 5 is going to equal to negative b over a. Huh? Okay, what's my a? I only got one number here. What am I going to do? My a is 1. Okay, because a whole number is placed over top of 1. But see how it's got a negative b? So I'm going to take the opposite of what I have here. So at this point, I'm going, well, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5. Okay, so far so good? All right, then I have to multiply. So I take 3 times negative 8, and it's going to give me negative 24. Now, negative 24, according to this particular formula, is equal to c over a. What's my a? 1. Again, which it's got to be the same as what it was up here. There are going to be some situations where it's not the same, and you're going to have to make it the same. Okay, we'll get there later, but my c value then, it doesn't say negative c, so it's exactly what I have here. So my c is negative 24. Okay, therefore, y is equal to 1x squared plus 5x plus negative 24. There's my equation. If I solve that by factoring, by graphing, by completing the square, by doing the quadratic formula on it, it would give me those solutions. Okay? You can always double check it, because then turn around and factor it. Okay, factor it, 2 sets of parentheses, x, 8 times 3 is going to give me 24. Okay, I would have to have the 8 be positive and the 3 be negative. Set it equal to 0. X equals negative 8, and x is equal to 3. Pretty sure that's exactly what I have up there. Okay, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's just the concept that you can go backwards in this. Some of the numbers get a little complicated, so the only thing that makes it harder is when you've got square roots and imaginary numbers as your answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with some easy ones first, then we'll back up and we'll do some harder ones, okay? So let's do another one. Let's say I have negative 3/8 and 5 as my solution. All right? Now, first thing I've got to do is I've got to add them together. Negative 3/8. Now, 5 doesn't have a common denominator, so I'd have to make it have an 8 as a common denominator. So I can write that as 40 over 8, correct? Okay? Now, you can do it on the calculator, but then you're going to have to convert it back to a fraction, because it has to be a fraction form, not a decimal form when you finish. So this is going to give me a 37 over 8, right? At this point, I can look and get the A, the B, and the C. At least I think I can. Sometimes I have to go back and I have to change this by like multiplying the top or the bottom by 2. Like for instance, let's say I multiplied the bottom and I got 3/4. Do you see how the A's don't match? Then I'd have to go back and I go, well, how can I make the A's match? Well, I multiply that by 2, so this is 6/8. Then I'd have to use that, okay? So the A's have got to match up. You have to make the A's match up between this one and this one. A cannot be equal to 2 different things, okay? All right, but on this particular one, we're not going to have to worry about that. Down here, I multiply. Remember, that's the same as 5 over 1. So I get negative 15 over 8. So now I go through and I go, okay, what's A, B, and C? What's A?
8.
8, okay? Top and bottom, both A. What is B?
37.
Negative 37. Okay, that is the one spot where you can possibly mess up because the B is going to be the opposite of what you have right there because it says negative B. Okay, so I take the opposite, so that's a negative 37. Okay, what is my C? Negative 15. Okay, the A and the C stand exactly like they are. The B, you're always going to take the opposite of. All right, so then I come down here. I'm not done until I write the equation. So I can write the equation as y equals 8x squared plus negative 37x plus negative 15. And that's going to be my answer. Okay? Do you understand that if I took that and I solved it by doing the quadratic formula or any of the other 3 ways, I would get those 2 numbers. Okay? All right, try this one. Give it a shot on a sheet of paper. Okay, you're trying to find the equation, so don't stop until you put it in equation form. Okay, your solutions or zeros are 1/3 and 1/2. Now don't forget you got to have a common denominator when you add, or you can use your calculator. Okay, 6x squared minus 5x plus 1. Good, okay, now try this one. Now be careful on that one, okay? Once you start it, I'm going to do it up here because I don't have the answer to this. is the one where you gotta make the A's match, okay?
Dividing.
You divided?
Mhm.
As in reduced it down? Oh, you divided instead of multiplied?
Mhm.
Oh, okay,
That's half.
gotcha.
Would that be wrong or anything?
One reason why it's wrong, so you didn't get the 8, the -2, and the -3.
No, it's 4.
Okay, the reason
Negative
why
one,
it wouldn't
okay.
work is because you can't do the other side. Okay, if I could do something next to that y, I could do it, okay? But because I'm only working on one side of the equation, I really can't. It's not legal to just do it on one side, okay? Did you get it? Okay, that just is a little tricky because, it's only tricky because you gotta think about it, okay? It's not hard math. When I add, I get 1/4. When I multiply, I get -3/8, so the A's don't match. So I turn around and go, okay, how do I make the 4 and the 8 match? I gotta multiply the top one by 2/2, which I can legally do because it's like multiplying it by 1. So that gives me a 2/8. Well, now the A's match. So now that is 8 and then -2 and then -3. Okay, so just make sure you match up the A's. It only rarely does it happen like that, but just make sure you're being aware of it when you go to do it. All right, let's move on to some more. These are more or less easy solutions, but you know everything you know to do the hard ones. So let's say I have 7 minus 3a and 7 plus 3a as my two solutions. So basically, if you had worked it out, you would have had 7 plus or minus 3i. Okay, not a, but I. Okay, so your two solutions, if that is what you get, you're going to have 7 minus 3i, 7 plus 3i. So you still follow this. You go, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add these. What do I get when I add those?
14.
14. Because that and that is equal to 0. Then I multiply it. 7 minus 3i, 7 plus 3i. What do you notice here? They're conjugates. All you got to do is first and last. Okay, if you really want to do FOIL on it, do FOIL on it. But I promise you the outside and the inside cancel out. So first is going to give me 49. Last is going to give me -9 squared. Okay, now what is I squared equal to? -1. So this is the same as saying -9 times -1, which is +9. So I'm adding those two things together, and I'm going to get 58. Okay, so then when I come over here, what is my A? 1. Okay, if it's a whole number, remember it can be placed as a fraction by putting 1 underneath it. So I have 1. What is B?
58.
14.
-14.
-14. Don't forget, this one's the one that's giving me negative B over A. And then C is
58.
58. Oops, is that right? 59. Okay, so I have y is equal to x squared minus 14x plus 58. Okay? All right, I'm going to give you one of these to do. All right, and then we're going to go on to even more. How about, oh, let's just go for the fun one. Okay, there's one solution. And there's the other solution. So in other words, when you solve the problem, it looked like that. Okay? Okay. You should have y is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 28. Yes, no, maybe? Reagan's going no.
I had 5x. I must have just not added. I think I know what I did. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't add the fives in the first part. I
Gotcha.
don't know why.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because that would have given you 10 over 1. Okay. Then you're going to take this and you're going to combine it together. What they're going to do is they're going to give you an equation, and they're going to say solve, and then they're going to say check by using the sum and product of roots. That's what that is. The sum and product of roots. That's why it's called that, obviously. That's why math is so very cut and dry. So what they're going to do is they will give you an equation. They might have it equal to 0, or they might have it equal to y, or they might have it equal to the f of x. Okay, those are all equations, just different ways of writing it. So let's say I've got this, and they say solve, and then check by using sum of roots. Now, at this point, you have a choice, okay?